Once upon a time, in the old days, when merchants themselves traveled to different cities and countries to buy goods, a merchant with little capital wanted to go on a trip. He also wished to leave some of his capital in his homeland as a precaution. For example, if his property were to be lost on the way to the desert, he would still have some savings and wealth upon his return to the city. The merchant had limited capital because he was uncertain about the duration of his journey. He believed that lending cash to others was not a safe practice. Therefore, he purchased 100 kilograms of iron and deposited it in his friend's house as a loan. He intended to retrieve it upon his return from the trip, thereby reclaiming his capital, which was equivalent to 100 kilograms of iron. The merchant thought to himself,
"Iron is a superior choice for investment and lending money to others. It carries substantial weight, and its price is relatively low. It's not easily transportable, so it's less likely to be stolen. Unlike cloth, it doesn't catch fire, and it won't rot like food. It's not as fragile as glass, and it doesn't become obsolete." Plus, because he had complete confidence in his friend's trustworthiness, he felt at ease in every respect.
The merchant left the iron in his friend's house, bid farewell, and embarked on a year-long business trip. Upon his return, he brought back new merchandise for which he still had no customers. Given the significant increase in the price of iron, he decided to start by selling the iron he had deposited in his friend's house. He planned to then find a buyer for the other goods he had acquired on the trip. Thus, he visited his friend's house to retrieve the borrowed iron. However, the old merchant friend, driven by greed, betrayed the trust placed in him. He took possession of the iron for himself and concealed it in another location, intending to sell it covertly for personal gain. The iron would not be returned now. Such was the story. The merchant arrived at his old friend's house and, after exchanging greetings, he said,
"I have come to retrieve my irons, old friend."
The old friend initially greeted the merchant warmly, then invited him into the house. He spoke.
"Dear merchant, I must express my sincere apologies for this unfortunate incident. The truth of the matter is that I had left your loaned irons in the corner of the warehouse, securely locked away. I was certain it would remain safe. However, on one occasion when I visited the warehouse for another task, I discovered that a rat had gained entry. It had been inside for some time, and in that period, the rat took the opportunity to eat all the irons. Naturally, I deeply regret this, but regrettably, there was nothing I could do. I am genuinely sorry to have to share this news with you."
The merchant, realizing that his friend was attempting to deceive him with these words, concluded that there was no use in engaging with such an arrogant, deceitful, and greedy individual. He decided to employ a ruse to elicit a confession. The merchant feigned indifference to this peculiar situation, maintaining his composure, and replied,
"You are absolutely right. I've also heard that rats have a strong affinity for iron. It's considered a rich and delectable treat for them, and if they come across it, they'll devour it without hesitation. Certainly, you bear no blame in this matter. It's my own oversight for not considering the rat's preference for iron as a source of nourishment."
The deceitful acquaintance was pleased to hear this response and thought to himself,
"Now that this naive merchant has believed the tale of the iron-eating rat, it would be wise to extend an invitation and host an extravagant dinner. This way, I can demonstrate my friendship to him wholeheartedly, and any lingering doubt he may have will be dispelled."
And so, the treacherous man urged the merchant to dinner and insisted, saying,
"Dear merchant, it has been a long time since we last met. I implore you to join me for dinner tonight.
The merchant replied,
I appreciate your kindness, old friend. However, I have an important commitment tonight. Instead, I will come to your house for lunch tomorrow at noon.
After bidding his old friend farewell, the merchant departed. However, upon leaving the house, he embraced the small child of the deceitful man who was playing in front of the residence. He took the child with him to his own home and instructed his wife to care for the child kindly until the following night. The next day, around noon, the merchant himself arrived for lunch at his old friend's house. The treacherous man, deeply distressed and sorrowful over the disappearance of his child, expressed his apologies to the merchant. He said,
Dear merchant, please forgive me, but I am unable to host a gathering today. My little child has been missing since yesterday, and we've been searching throughout the city all night. No one has any information about his whereabouts, and I am profoundly saddened and worried. I am not in a suitable state to receive you.
Your child is a boy, correct?
inquired the merchant. The treacherous man affirmed,
Yes, that's correct.
And wasn't he wearing a striped shirt and a black vest? Did he not have on a knitted hat?
The merchant continued,
Yes, exactly.
confirmed the treacherous man.
Did your son also have on white pants and black shoes?
The merchant pressed.
That's him.
The treacherous man responded with heightened anxiety.
Where did you see my little boy?
Yesterday, as I left your house.
Recounted the merchant.
I reached the alley and witnessed a black raven carrying a little boy who matched the description and clothing you mentioned, flying in front of your house. It must have been your child taken by the raven.
Outraged, the treacherous man exclaimed,
You foolish, deluded merchant! Why do you utter such improbable words? Why do you tell such an enormous lie? How could a raven, weighing less than half a kilogram, hoist a child, weighing over 10 kilograms, off the ground, leap into the air, and fly? What absurdity are you spouting?
The merchant retorted to the treacherous man.
But I see no reason for astonishment. In a city where a small rat can devour 100 kilograms of iron on its own, surely a raven can lift a child from the ground and carry it into the sky. There is no marvel in it.
Upon hearing this, the treacherous man grasped the situation. He realized that concealing his child had likely been the merchant's doing, and he understood that this was the response to his deceit and breach of trust. The treacherous man, no longer driven by greed, confessed to the merchant, saying,
You've opened my eyes to my own greed and deceit. I deeply regret it now. Yes, I fabricated the story about the rat consuming 100 kilograms of your iron. I had actually hidden the irons with intentions to sell them for myself. You've imparted a valuable lesson. Kindly return my child, and I'll return your irons to you.
The merchant responded,
Now that you recognize your fault, let me clarify as well. Dear friend, a raven did not take your child. Your child is safe and sound in my house. My intention was simply to impart a significant lesson. Please return my irons and take your child. Additionally, be aware that your deception was even more egregious than mine. You were driven by greed and aimed to betray my trust and seize what rightfully belonged to me. I, on the other hand, sought only to reclaim what was rightfully mine.
Betraying someone's trust is a grave offense with lasting consequences. Breaching the sacred bond of trust erodes relationships and leaves behind a trail of broken hearts. Dishonesty and betrayal destroy the foundation of trust, making it challenging to rebuild. The pain inflicted by betrayal can linger, tarnishing not only the betrayer's reputation but also their own sense of integrity. It is crucial to honor the trust placed in us and to recognize that loyalty and honesty are vital for nurturing strong connections. Respecting the trust of others is a reflection of our character and the foundation of genuine relationships.